Good evening and welcome to the show. We are so glad to have you back with us. We have an exciting show for you this evening. We're going to be talking about veteran suicide, and that's going to cover a lot of the first two sessions when we talk about Together with Veterans. We have LeeAnn Luna. She's from Nye Communities Coalition, and she has a wealth of information, and she's going to be inviting you to join us so that when you talk about veteran suicide and how to end it, things that we'd love to do, you can be a part of it. It's so important that everybody takes part in reducing veteran suicide and other suicides as well. But we're going to focus on veteran suicide because it's a subject that I guess it impacts everybody. And that's what we want to make sure that we take care of. So LeeAnn, welcome to the show this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I know that we're going to talk about your committee, the people that are on your committee, and exactly what we do and how we do it. Since I'm a member of your committee, I can answer some of those questions, but I think the people would love to hear it from you. So the first thing we're going to do is tell us about your committee. When did you organize this, and what got you involved in it?
So the Western Institute on Higher Education approached Stacy at NyeCC with an opportunity to provide suicide prevention programming to the community through the TWV effort. TWV is Together with Vets, and it is programs that they've supported programs across the country to help prevent suicide in individual communities. And they chose Pahrump, and we've been working on this for about a year and a couple of months. And we've got a committee comprised of over 51% veterans, so it's a veteran-run effort. And what we've done is we've done 2 assessments in the community. One was a community readiness assessment, and the other one was a SWOT analysis. And SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, objectives and threats to decide how programming is going to be accepted in our community. So we had a whole plethora of data that the Higher Institute on Higher Education took from us, and they boiled it down for us. So from that, we got a action plan that says we're going to address these specific things in our community regarding veteran suicide.
Now, who's involved? When you talk about the SWOT, you talk about the action plan. Who's involved in either creating that, putting it together, and then implementing it?
We asked the community to come and participate with us in a survey on how they thought the services were being implemented, whether or not there was enough connection between providers, whether or not the general public is getting the information. So there was a lot of things covered in the SWOT. And then for a couple of meetings after that, we had the Western Institute on Higher Education come out and go over the SWOT with us, and then introduce us to action plans. We have an instruction book about this thick on how to build and run these programs, and we're very much well supported by WeChi and Myrick, so they support us very well in our efforts, and they come out whenever we need help or direction. But right now we've uploaded our action plan to them, and we are that much closer to really implementing the plan for our suicide prevention, our specific suicide prevention plans for veterans.
Now, when you say our action plan, now that action plan is going to cover what area?
It covers many. It's got a focus.
When I say area, I'm talking about, is it going to be Pahrump, Nye County, Clark County? What is it actually
Nye County,
in the area? What is it going to cover?
It's Nye County. We will do we'll get it running here, and then we'll apply it to the more rural parts of Nye County. So right now, as we get it rolling, we'll get it rolling in Pahrump, and then we'll we'll start to see how we can fit it in other rural communities.
Okay, you have your committee. And how many people are on the committee? How often do you meet? And I know we're inviting everyone that's watching this program tonight to become a part of it in some way. If they just wanted to get in touch with you and say, LeeAnn, I'm interested in veteran suicide and reducing veteran suicide. What can I do to help? What would you tell them?
Come to the meeting, and from there you're going to get exposed to the action plan. And from there you can take on specific tasks for the committee in order to build capacity for suicide prevention. So one of our focus areas is to build a team of peer support so that people with lived experience can help others who may be in crisis. So if you are wanting to serve in that capacity, you would approach one of us, and then we're in the process of writing the curriculum for that. We're going to have trainings, and the trainings that we will have will teach you how to approach somebody who might have been in the service. Because if you ask people if they're a veteran, sometimes they won't say that they're a veteran because they didn't actually serve in a war. So we rather ask the question, have you served? Because that is a basic rounded question that doesn't specify what they did in the military, because anybody in the military is subject to our prevention strategies. So.
Okay, if somebody was interested in participating with you, who do they call or where do they come? And when is your next meeting?
Next meeting is on July 19th. It's going to be in person in the classroom sides of the Activity Center. So it's a large building on our campus off to the left, and then the classrooms are off to the right of that building. Usually we're in room 31 or 32, and we will be going over the action plan and some specific tasks in order to go forward on each action. So.
Okay, and your meetings are at the Nye Communities Coalition.
It is.
And where is it actually located?
It's 1020 East Wilson. And
1020 East Wilson. Okay, I think most people can find that, even if they have to use a GPS. So
right behind Starbucks.
Right behind Starbucks is even better. Okay, and then when they look at that, then they can come to the meeting, and your meeting starts when, lasts about how long, and how many people do you expect to be there? I know you hope there's a lot, but
right. We have a committee of 18 people. We'd like all of our committee members to come to the meeting, and then any community members interested in joining or doing tasks for the committee, then you can also come. You can contact me at 775-727-9970 extension 204, or
would you repeat that?
775-727-9970 extension 204, or my email, LeeAnn, LeeAnn @NyeCC.org.
Okay, so they can easily get in touch with you. Now I have to ask real quick, what is the makeup of your committee? Do you have veterans? Do you have non-veterans? What is the makeup?
51% of our membership in the committee is required to meet MyRIC standards, so that it is veteran-led. But the rest of the people are generally just community people who are interested in suicide prevention for veterans. So there doesn't necessarily need to be any clear association with veterans or suicide prevention, or either one, but general people who want to help, they can just come in and be part of the committee.
I believe too you have some people there that have a medical background, counseling background, things that would help the veterans. The veterans are there and can talk about veteran issues. They can talk about what they did in the military. But for the other people that are non-veterans, their expertise lies in what areas?
many areas. We've got you who own about 5 hats in the community around veterans, and you've advocated effectively for veterans' interests. And we've got people from the DAV, people from the VFW, all the larger organizations. In fact, we're making a resource list because the biggest symptom of somebody that has suicidal thoughts or is at risk of suicide, the biggest symptom they have is a disconnect. They're not connected. And with COVID, we've all had 2 years where we're not connected. So we have endeavored to increase connection for all veterans. And with that, we decided that we would make a resource list of all the organizations available for them to come and participate in. So it's not necessarily that you want to do suicide prevention. Perhaps you want to work with the disabled veterans. So you'll get this list as part of our resources, and it'll show you how to get connected with them.
This is fantastic. And again, for those that are watching the program this evening, we want you to know that if you know of a veteran, you hear that if you see something, say something. If you know of a veteran that's in need of anything, you can contact us or contact LeeAnn, and she can put you in touch with whoever you need to help that veteran. If you find a veteran that may be suicidal, you see something, say something, and let's get help for the people that really need it. I think overall, when we look at what LeeAnn's committee is doing, they're accomplishing so much, and they're doing so much for the veterans. But we have a lot more to talk to you about, so we're going to ask you to come back for the next session, and we'll be ready to give you more information. Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us. And my guest for this session is going to be LeeAnn Luna. She's from Nye Communities Coalition. And we're talking tonight about veteran suicide and how to reduce or eliminate veteran suicide. And it's called, the program is called TWV, or Together with Veterans. And that's what it's all about. So LeeAnn has so much information she wants to share, and I'm going to let her give you as much as you need so that you can become a participant in all that we do in reducing veteran suicide. LeeAnn, tell us more about this program.
I think one of the most important parts we need to lead with in all prevention suicide programming is that 90% of those who die by suicide have a diagnosable mental health condition, and recovery is possible. So people stay in their conditions for a very long time without reaching for help. In this country, we don't really value mental health as a value like we do work and achievement and action. But mental health is our foundation to our work, achievements, and action. So in order to get that to where people reach for help earlier, you need to understand that, number one, recovery is possible, and number two, early intervention is essential to that recovery. So the earlier you reach for help, the less time you're going to spend trying to fix things.
LeeAnn, I'm going to ask again, for people who want to contact you, because this information is so important, give us your phone number again, your contact number, maybe even the email address, so they can contact you if they're interested in becoming a member of the committee, or just providing information, or just to gather information.
I'm at Nye Communities Coalition. I'm program manager there. My name is LeeAnn. My number is 775-727-9970, extension 204. My email is LeeAnn, LeeAnn, at NyeCC.org.
Okay. Now tell us more about everything that you've got going.
Well, our first focus area in our action plan is to identify service members, veterans, and family members, and screen for suicide risk. So the first objective under that focus area is to provide suicide prevention training. This is something I've been doing with the coalition for about 5 years. I was under the SAMHSA Mental Health Awareness Training Grant, and I was able last year to train 4,628 people
Oh,
in
wow.
mental health awareness. Some of that is the high schoolers taking it 1 year and then taking it again. Because COVID, the numbers got a little bit skewed.
Okay.
But it's important for our high schoolers also to be able to rate their mental health and get help soon rather than later. So what I do with the signs of suicide, where I get most of those numbers, is I talk to the youth and I tell them, if your live, love, laugh, and learn is suffering, and you rate it between 1 and 10 every day, and it falls between a 5 or under, then it's time to reach for help and do it within like 12 weeks. Because many people with mental illness will stay ill. Some people stay depressed for 10 years or more. And that's just a tragedy, knowing that recovery is possible and early intervention is essential to that recovery. It's never too late to reach for recovery.
You know, and just the information you provided, not only is it good for veterans to avoid suicide, but also for young people and young adults and older adults. With the information you provided so far, you can almost identify when there's a problem just brewing so that you can go ahead and get some help right away. Just like you said, prevention is there and the cure is possible.
Exactly.
So I think it's so important that we take advantage of that.
Yep. So my trainings that I've been doing, I train for mental health first aid, youth and adult. That's an 8-hour class, and anybody in the community who has 5 participants can actually schedule that with me, and I'll come out and train at your facility. So
Even better.
I've got that ability to be mobile with that. I've got Safe Talk. It's a 4-hour class. It's suicide specific, and you learn how to approach somebody with suicidal thoughts, keep them safe, and get them to help. And then I've been very close in placing the Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training. I've done it twice, and I've had to cancel it twice. One time we were low on teachers, so I had to cancel it in April. And then the second time we were low on participants, and I had to cancel it in June. So I'm going to come out with another set of training dates for the Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training. It's a 2-day training. That's why it's harder to fill. But it teaches you how to talk someone down from suicide. So it's an amazing training.
Oh, that would be very interesting. And I'm hoping that there are a lot of people out there that say, hey, I want to sign up for that.
Yep.
And all you need to do is call LeeAnn and say, look, I'm interested in it. Or send her an email and say, I'm interested. And she'll get you signed up. She'll let you know what you need to do, where you need to go. And you'll be on your way to helping somebody else and save a life.
Yes.
So important.
And so our second action plan item is to enhance primary care suicide prevention. So we are talking to the hospital and other primary care providers to educate them also on how to approach a veteran, how to connect them with maybe peer support while they're waiting for services, so that they're not alone during the process of waiting for services. So we're looking at that as our second objective under the action plan. We want to promote connectedness and improve care transitions. So this is where that resource list comes in, so that when we approach a veteran who may be in crisis and we say, listen, connection, you need to get connected, you know. So let's see how we can do that as a goal. And so we work directly in advocating with the veteran to make those choices easier for them. And then improving communication across veteran serving programs. We have many, many programs out here to serve veterans, but that we all need to work together for the suicide prevention part. So that's why we're improving those connections with those providers. And we are promoting lethal means safety. and we are enhancing behavioral health suicide prevention in our community by providing an effective list of providers. So those are our goals together with vets. All together now, there's 5 members of our committee who are going to what's called the TWV Summit, and that is that's a Colorado summit that teaches us as Parumpians and as together with vets what's happening across the country. So that might enhance our efforts here if we find something that's quick and easy to implement. And we will be going over that at the next meeting on the 19th at 1 o'clock. We'll be going over all of that information from the summit. So that's pretty exciting because then we get the innovative ideas from other groups that are doing the same thing we are.
Oh, that is great. Mm-hmm. Now, what about statistics? I know you have some numbers, and I want you to go ahead and wow us with the numbers.
They're sad numbers because we're not on top of it yet, but we're working on it. So in the United States in 2020, suicide was the 10th leading cause of death. Men die from suicide 3.6 times more often than women, and women were 1.4 times likely to attempt suicide. Let's see, firearms account for slightly more than half, 50.54 of all suicide deaths. Suicide deaths and attempts.
LeeAnn, let me stop you there just for a minute because I think there's some people that may listen and hear it when you talk about firearm deaths. And they say, well, I think they're infringing on the Second Amendment. I think when we're talking about it in this program, you're talking about safety and protecting the firearm, not so much removing firearms or anything like that. There are safe locks, there are safety way of making sure that young people don't have access to firearms, things like this.
Yeah,
so
we
we're
distribute
talking more
locks.
safety.
We distribute locks at every event we're there. We've also thought with a peer support program that we might have like peers who are willing to agree to hold the firearms while the person's in crisis and then return them afterwards. So the program is developing in that way to where there's not necessarily an authority involved, but that somebody has been kept safe by somebody else by keeping the firearm safe.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
And then in 2017, veterans, the rate for suicides is 1.5 times higher for veterans than non-veterans. So the suicide rate for veterans are higher. So we're still dealing with this, and we're rolling out some programming to meet the problem.
And that's the reason that we have Together with Veterans, because as she just stated, the rates for veterans is higher than the normal society, and we've got to do everything we can to keep our veterans. You know, they came out and they served their country, and they protected us, and now it's our turn, our responsibility to protect them, and sometimes protect them from themselves. These are things that are so important, and Together with Veterans will give you the tools and the training, and that's what LeeAnn is talking about, all the things necessary to sit down and talk to a veteran and let them know how important they are, not only to the community and their families, but to our society at large. So we're going to invite you again to come out on the 19th at 1 o'clock, and this will be training at Nye Communities Coalition. LeeAnn has already given you the address, but be sure to contact her if you have any questions at all. I want to thank LeeAnn for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us. Now we have a new guest for the next 2 sessions. Her name is Cathy Bethrens, and she is a swimmer. and you're going to find out so much about Nevada senior swimmers. This is just fantastic. I know you're gonna be surprised at some of the things that she says, but I want you to get involved. I'm not a swimmer per se, but I think swimmers are fantastic, and I like watching it on TV. And I'm sure one day I'm going to see probably Cathy at the Olympics. But like I said, you're going to learn so much about her. This is Cathy Bethrens. And Cathy, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. Now, the first thing I want to do is, you live in Pahrump. I know this show is being seen in a lot of different areas, but you live in Pahrump, Nevada. And tell us something about where you know, I don't think you were born here, and if you were, you can tell us that. But where are you from, and how did you get to Pahrump? And then tell us more about the Senior Games.
Okay. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I have literally been swimming all my life, thanks to my grandfather, who at 5 years old would take me to Shaw Pool. And if anyone is out there from Cleveland and had been there years ago, there was Shaw Pool, and everybody went there. And I was taken there as a child, and that's how I learned to swim. I've always loved water. I feel more comfortable in water than probably on land. And I got involved in all kinds of swimming. I taught swimming at the YMCA. I have taught privately swimming at people's homes throughout my life. And now I'm involved in the Nevada Senior Games, which is competition with my swimming. And
looking at a picture of Cathy, that's her in the water. Like she said, she's very comfortable in the water. She's a swimmer. I think it's just fantastic.
yeah.
And this is NevadaSeniorGames.com is the website if you're interested in all the things that Cathy's going to be talking about today. NevadaSeniorGames.com. But there's another thing about Cathy. You know, if you look at her on the screen, you're looking at a lot of medals. So Cathy, tell us about your medals.
The medals are, my very first medal was when I worked on the Las Vegas Strip at Treasure Island. And one day I was leaving work through our back door that the employees use, and there was a fella at a table, and he was motioning me to come over. And I went over, and he says, "You've got to join." He was looking for people. He says, "We're going to have our competition. It's called Corporate Challenge." And he said, "I need people." And I looked at the board, and I saw volleyball and tennis and racquetball, which I don't do. And I saw swimming, and I went, "I know how to swim." I said, "Well, I'll join the swimming." And he was thrilled. And I didn't know what I was in for. I showed up at the pool. It was one of the outdoor pools here over in Las Vegas. And I competed against 8 other women who were younger than me. I don't think there was anyone older than me. And I was a little intimidated because one of the women that came out of the changing room had a muscle shirt on, and she was from the Air Force Base. And I went, "Ugh, I'm not going to do so good in this one." And I won the race, and I felt so thrilled by that, and I realized what a good swimmer I was. And they gave me a gold medal, my very first one, and I don't know if I can find it here, but it's in here. And I went to the grocery store, and I was telling everybody, "I won this today. I won it in swimming." I was just so excited about it. And that was my very first one, and that was back in 2004. And as the years went on, I learned about Nevada Senior Games. And I decided to compete. I thought, wow, you can get another gold medal? And I went in my very first race. I was intimidated again. I thought, oh, wow, look at all these good swimmers there. I won the race, and I got another gold medal. And now I'm very excited, and I have been doing this now for 5 years. The picture that was just on the screen is my last race, and that was October 3rd of last year. It's at Pavilion Pool. That's where all the swimming races are for Nevada Senior Games. And it was just wonderful. It was my 4th gold, and this coming year in October I will compete again, and that is going to be at Pavilion Pool October 2nd and 3rd, and I'll be there with bells on, all excited to win again. So
it sounds like you're going to be, weighted down with medals here.
It's
I
kind of
think
fun.
this is fantastic. These are gold medals, and it's not the Olympics, but it's Nevada Senior Games.com. And for anybody that's interested in participating in any of the senior games, because there are many, and I guess we're going to be talking about those in the next session. So there are many different sports that are involved in this, but we're going to try and focus this session. We're going to try and stay with swimming, and we're going to try and stay with what Cathy has done and her background and how she got involved and things like that. So Cathy, tell us more.
Well, I swim every single day, 7 days a week at the public pool here in Pahrump. And I invite everyone in Pahrump to come there. From 7 in the morning till 9:30, it's just adults. And you can swim laps. They have a workout session every Tuesday and Thursday for adults. The water's great. It's clean. They have beautiful, clean bathrooms with showers. Come on down and join us. I'll be there, and introduce yourself. I'll be glad to talk to you.
This is Cathy Bethrens, and I got a chance to meet Cathy. We had talked anyway about her being on the show, because I know there were other people that would be interested in exactly what she's talking about. But she approached me at the Miss Senior Golden Years and said, I'm going to be on your show. And I think it was the first time I actually saw Cathy, but it was so good meeting her and knowing that she's involved in a lot of things that seniors are doing. So seniors out there, don't think, look, I can't get involved in this or I can't get involved in that. Listen to Cathy. This is so important that you keep the life in your life. And when you talk about Miss Senior Golden Years or you talk about Nevada Senior Games, keep life in your life. So Cathy, tell us more about this fantastic program.
It's a great program because for myself, I have goals to meet, and that's so important as you're a senior. I know I'm going to be in the competition in October. I want to be fit. I probably feel more fit today than I did 20 years ago. 20 years ago, sure, I was busy and maybe I exercised once in a while, but now I have goals. It's to be in the competition. And even if you don't want to compete, set some goals for yourself. Stay healthy. I go to the senior center sometimes for lunch, and I talk to the people there. And of course, they say great compliments to me, but I tell them, never stop moving. Never. Walk, ride a bike, swim, play a game outside, walk your dog, walk with friends. Stay moving. I promise you, it'll help you very much. It's helped me. I see the difference. I ride a bike in the morning at about 7:30, and then I get my bathing suit, I go to the pool, and I swim, and I do laps. And I feel healthy, and I feel great. Eat right, eat your veggies, eat your fruit, not a lot of red meats, stay out of trouble, and have a good life. I'm feeling really good, and I want to pass it on.
So Cathy, when you talk about the seniors, what age groups are you really talking about?
Okay. To be in the Nevada Senior Games, there's only one requirement. You've got to be 50. And I'll talk later about the nationals, which I've gone to in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But all you have to do is be 50 years old. Be willing to do the sport that you enjoy. And I'm going to be telling about the different sports in the next session, but there's 20 of them. I'm sure everyone has done one of these sports at one time or another. I think the only game they don't play and compete in is football. But all the rest are included. And they run for fun. In other words, I don't swim against someone that's 55. I swim in my age group. And if you're 50, you're going to swim against or compete with people that are 50 to 54. So that's 5 years. If you're 55, you swim from 55 to 59. And it's every 5 years that they change. So you're only competing against people your age, and you don't compete against men if you're a woman. You get to only compete with women. I don't want to swim. I don't want to swim against men because they're a tiny bit faster, and they've got more strength. It's all in strength. And by the way, swimming is all about speed. You've got to have the speed, but you can get a gold, a silver, or bronze. And in my life right now, I'm so happy with what I'm doing with this. It's not about the gold anymore. It's about the competition and when you're there, it's so good because everyone is like-minded. Everybody's happy. Everybody's excited. And I've met wonderful people that are like-minded. You know, they're healthy. They're into moving and staying active.
You know, and just listening to Cathy, I'm so excited about going into the next session because she's going to be talking about all the things that really going to get you pumped up and you're ready to go. I'm excited about this already. So I'm going to tell you, be sure you get something to write down exactly what she's saying so you can get more information about Nevada Senior Games at nevadaseniorgames.com. Come back and join us in the next session. Welcome back for our final session. I always hate for the final sessions to come. And I have such an outstanding guest for this session. This is Cathy Bethrens. She's a senior swimmer, and she's been talking about all the things that you can do to put excitement in your life and just keep things going. Cathy is a swimmer. I've said that several times already. She's won medals, and she talked about the medals in the last session. And I'm just so excited about everything she's talked about. So, Cathy, I want you to tell us more. And you've given us the age groups. I think that's fantastic. But what are some of the other things that seniors are doing?
I try and encourage all seniors to keep moving. That's my famous saying. I just say, keep moving. I don't care if you're in the hospital. Move your legs, move your arm, take deep breaths. Get outside, breathe the fresh air, take your dog for a walk. Again, come down to the pool. You don't have to be a swimmer like myself. Just come down and move. Be in the water. Being in water and exercise combined, just walking in the water is great exercise. I do it myself. It exercises your legs. It's, just moving. I'd like to talk about the Nevada Senior Games, the Nationals. Now that's where all the states in the United States compete. And at the last one, or not the last one, I'm sorry, in 2019, I went to the Nationals, and it was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There were 13,500 adults, seniors, in these games. It was one of the most exciting things I've ever done. I met people from all over the United States, all competing in their sport. I competed against, of course, people my own age, and I swam my competition in 60 seconds or a minute. The winner did it in 30 seconds, which is unbelievable. She was my age, and she did it in half the time I did. It was just unbelievable. There was a girl there that was blind in the swimming competition. There was a man there with one leg in the swimming. So you meet all these great people with great attitudes and positive thinking and healthy, trying to stay healthy and be active. I'll tell you the different, would you like to know the different sports? There's 20
I would
of
love
them.
to know the different sports.
Oh, okay, it starts from A and ends in V.
Okay.
There's, in the Nevada Senior Games, these are the different competitions. Archery, badminton, basketball, bowling, cycling, golf, horseshoes, pickleball, power walk, race walk, racquetball, road race, shuffleboard, softball, swimming, table tennis, tennis, track and field, triathlon and triathlon relay, and volleyball. And it covers just, I think I said it earlier, the only thing that we don't compete is football. And if you can do any of these sports, look it up. Just go to your computer and look up Nevada Senior Games. And if you get a gold, silver, bronze, guess what? You get to go to nationals. I am in the nationals, which is the United States. I'm 14th, and I'm pretty proud of that. There were a total of about 30 swimmers in my competition, and I'm kind of right in the middle.
14th
Yeah.
national.
In the nationals.
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, and as she was reading off the list, I kept looking at certain things that I like doing. Table tennis, I think I still play pretty good. There's bowling. There's all the different sports that I truly enjoy that I can compete in. There's some things I probably couldn't compete in. But I'm sure as she read that list, you yourself were saying, oh, I could do that, or I could do this. That's what it's all about, getting involved. And when you talk about NevadaSeniorGames.com, go to that website. I'm going to go to it. I wrote it down. I'm going to go to it after this show and try and find something else that I can participate in. I need the exercise. I'm not a swimmer, but I need the exercise. I want to exercise. All I need to do is find the time. And some of the sports that she mentioned, I can find time even with my schedule. So this is what we're looking at. And if I can do it, I'm going to say you could probably do it too. So Cathy, tell us more and keep
Sure.
pumping us up and getting us excited about this.
Okay. It was very exciting for me to go to the Nationals because I met a woman who was 85 and doing triathlons. That's where you swim, ride a bike, and run. And she was 85, and she had done 5 or 6 of them. I met a woman who was 100, and she was in the race. She was on the track. I saw her. I met her. It's just to see these people that are just ordinary people, and they stay active. I met all the swimmers from all over, and you just bond with these people because we're all just happy to be active and happy to be involved in these sports. I'm going to keep doing this as long as I live. I joke with my family and I tell them, just put me in the water and I'll swim. I love swimming in the ocean. I'm very fortunate. I have friends that live near the ocean and I get to go visit and swim there, and it's fun. It's exciting. And give it a try. Look up Nevada Senior Games. It'll have everything explained to you as I have, and join. The competitions that are coming up are in September and October for 2022. Look it up. Give it a try. I'm going to look into weightlifting, actually, believe it or not, at my age, yeah. But I'm going to look into it because I want to do more. I want to expand with my exercise and what I can accomplish. And when I won that first gold medal, and I hope this doesn't sound kind of crazy, but I know what it felt like to get a gold medal. And I'm thinking, just think of the Olympians that win these gold medals, how exciting it is. And I stay fit for this competition. It keeps me on track, and that's important. So come on down to the pool here in Pahrump.
You know, as I listen to Cathy, I'm thinking about B.J. Hedrick. She's one of the silver tappers, also Miss Senior Golden Years.
Yeah.
And when I think about her, and she's still dancing, she's 97 years old. And so when you look at some of the things that she's doing, and then I listen to Cathy, I'm excited about this. Maybe I'm not that old, but at the same time, I want to stay active. Yeah. So I'm going to listen to Cathy, and like I said, I am definitely going to this website. I am going to find something that I can participate in, and I'm hoping that everybody that's watching the show tonight will do exactly the same thing. Cathy, I just want to thank you for coming out and telling us all about it. Now, we've got more to talk about, but I just want to thank her right now because these are a lot of things I didn't know, and I'm sure there are a lot of viewers tonight that didn't know about this. So let's get involved and let's stay active and let's stay alive. Cathy, tell us more.
Well, I'm going to brag right now. I bet I'm older than you, and I don't know how old you are, but I bet I am. I just turned 80.
Say that again.
I'm 80 years old.
Wow. Okay. I would have never guessed that.
And I think I'm older than you.
I would have never guessed that.
And I've got a good attitude. I stay positive, and that's the only way to be, at least for me anyway. And I do try and help people. I try and help women, especially, and I try and, I'll teach you how to swim. Come on down. I'll help you float in the water. I mean, I try and add some joy to their life by offering to do that. But stay active, folks. Keep moving. It's going to be good, I promise. I think it's more important than food. And I used to think diet was everything. Oh, it's got to be what you eat, how healthy you are. I think it's if you move your body. And food is very important, but exercise is too. And it doesn't matter what you do. You can sit in a chair and kick your legs, move your arms, do circles, move your shoulders, move. It'll help.
And Cathy, you're at the swimming pool 7 days a week?
7 days a week.
7 o'clock in the morning?
No, 8 o'clock.
8
I'm
o'clock
riding a
in the
bike
morning.
at 7.
Okay. 8 o'clock in the morning is still too early for me. But you're there at the swimming pool, and everybody knows where Pahrump Swimming Pool is, so we're going to ask you to get out there and meet Cathy. Say hi. Say, hey, I saw you on TV. You got me pumped up, and you got me excited. That's why I'm here. Let her know that you saw her, and let her know that she's the one who got you excited about living and continue to living by being healthy. This is important. So Cathy, again, I just want to thank you for all the information. The information about the medals got to be truly exciting. And you are an exciting person. So again, I want to thank you. And before we finish this session, is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewing audience?
Just thank you so much for having me here. I love being a spokesperson for Nevada Senior Games. It is so important in my life. I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy competing. And again, you don't have to compete. I have friends that swim at the swimming pool in the morning, and I say, come on, why don't you go in the competition with me? And they say, oh, no. And they're good swimmers. They're great swimmers, but they don't want to compete, which I understand. Not everybody is like me that wants to win. And it's okay. Just stay active, and maybe someday you will be in one of the games, and I'll see you there. I plan on, again, doing this for the rest of my life, and I will.
Okay, come back and join us for our next show next month. Thank you.
Thank you.